Got no cat this morning. He's on his catio having fun. Anyway, the topic this week, and I claimed it yesterday as a topic of examination, is the absurd and ridiculous, preposterous notion that our latter days shall be greater than our former days. Come on. There's just, you know, don't you just love religious platitudes and meaningless, banal, trite, sententious phrases that they sound good, but they're just loaded with new age Pollyanna absurdity. And, you know, that's just not true. We're older, we're slower, we're winding down. The world is really not really in our favor. Life is hard. We've been struggling. Our latter days really aren't going to be greater than our former days. Sounds nice. Sure sounds nice. It's a nice thing to paste on your float as it goes down the street. But, we just know that's not the case. Unless, today I'm going to make another claim that if we were to really find out if this notion that our latter days are to be greater than our former days, if in truth scripture it says that that's the case, and if we're to believe it, then I'm making another claim because that's what I do, that we have to make our conscious contact with God direct, absolutely straightforward connection to the infinite. Because here's why. Have you noticed how many different forms of spirituality there are? Have you noticed how many religions there are? Have you ever noticed how many religions there aren't? Have you ever noticed how even the same religion can have various sects and denomination and ideas and books? Have you ever noticed that certain teachers are interpreted in different ways? Have you ever noticed one faction of one religion warring against another faction of another religion? Have you ever felt the confusion of that? Have you ever felt like you're in a hopeless mire of who to trust and where to go and where to get the direct information? And is that information really good, or is that a wolf wearing sheep clothing? How am I to really find out if my latter days are to be greater than my former days? Where can I go for the information? Well, I think the true miracle of it is that we can all establish a direct connection to a higher power without an intermediary or a broker. This is not to say that we can't enjoy and get great benefit from books, teachings, and teachers. We all have had them, and we all have them, and we all enjoy them, and we all learn from them. But sooner or later, and I think if you're part of this group, you know that there is an intuitive source that comes to us from the inside that is not moderated by a broker. Now, for several thousand years, the history of the human race, it seems like most of the really heavy duty avatars are like from centuries or millennia ago. And then they gathered around them certain disciples who kind of wrote down or learned their teachings and then did their best through their writing or through their oral communication to pass it down. But as always, there's misinterpretation upon misinterpretation. It's like taking a copy into an old-fashioned copy machine, and you make a copy and a copy and a copy and a copy and another copy and another copy until what is coming out is nothing like the original. And so I think a great promise of true, deep, essential, dynamic spirituality is that we can make a bold, direct connection. We don't have to have an operator plug us into a variety of apparatus and all these layers upon layers upon layers of spiritual blubber that get in the way of our direct connection. And can we find the truth? Really? Will my latter days be greater than my former days? How will I know that? Well, we can go direct to the source. Well, how do you do that? You go direct to the source. Can you elaborate a little bit? Yeah, it means one way to do it would be here's one way. Feel around on the inside and in your most sincere language say whatever you might call God, whatever name you might give of a God of your understanding. Say, God, I want to make a direct contact. I certainly appreciate all the teachers and teachings and books and all the world scriptures, and they've been very helpful. But once and for all, I know that you send and broadcast to me a direct signal, and I would like that. I want that. I seek it. I ask for it boldly and directly, unabashedly, because as a child, I know that I can come to you direct, and it doesn't have to be brokered by somebody else or anybody else. And it's that kind of direct, bold interaction, inquiry, asking and seeking that delivers truth to us direct on the inside. We hear the still small voice. It's not so still and small anymore. It's not tepid. It's not afar off. It comes to us in the form of, well, what does it come to us in the form of? Fresh, direct, lively, fun-loving, frisky, dynamic, bold, interesting, adventuresome, wonderful, marvelous, mystical, magical, miraculous feeling, inspiration. Thus, today, our experience today is greater than any experience we've ever had before. Isn't that just another way of saying our latter days shall be greater than our former days? Today, my far more direct conscious contact with the infinite provides me with a fresh, lively source of brand new experience this day that exceeds, expands, and goes beyond anything that I've ever had in the past. I hope I'm making sense. Go direct to the source. Enjoy teachers, teachings, books, religions, all that stuff. But when it gets confusing, remember, you can go right directly to the source without a broker and without an intermediary. That is the great miracle of God working in our lives. See you tomorrow.